Wow, man. I couldn't show it, but just looking back at that scene of Nami and her stabbing herself because of what Arlong did to him, did to her, it really was terrible. So that just gives us more just difficulty of how we're gonna reform this character. Because man, what he did to Nami was straight up cruel. But I still think it would be a good story anyways. What's up, Pin Man? How you doing, y'all? And we're here today for part 2 of something weird, something unexpected. So I'm going to share the document on screen. You should be able to see it. Kat should be able to see it. And yeah, man, let's get into it. Kat, if you want, you can start off with saying your thoughts on this whole idea and things like that. I'm finna go. I'll be right back. I gotta feed my dog real quick, but you can get your dots real quick, and by then, when you're done with that, I'll be back.
Okay, so I'm unfortunately I did not watch the first video. Wasn't just kept forgetting to watch it, honestly. And I know that's kind of unbecoming of a co-host to neglect such duties, but that's what happened. But the idea of rewriting the story to where Arlong can be a redeemable character, I find to be very interesting. Personally, I think the only reason why he went bad was because of past experiences with humans, which caused him to fear humans, which eventually turned into hate. And because of being a fishman and being biologically superior to human beings,
Right.
I think it's very possible that because of that, Arlong may have been thinking to himself, why do humans hate us? Based on his own experiences, when we're so much better than they are. Maybe it's because they fear us. And I think that thought process combined with what he had gone through in his own life through what happened to Kingfisher. I'm sorry, not Kingfisher, Fisher Tiger. My God, I cannot believe I just said Kingfisher. That coupled with his own experiences is what led him to become bad. Because I think it's pretty clear that Arlong is a great example of somebody who becomes racist as a learned behavior. Now, of course, there's also more to it than that, because fishmen are a different species, even though they have similarities to humans. So I guess he's really more speciesist than racist. I mean, those two are kind of the same thing in this instance, in this regard. But yeah, I think he's one of the villains that honestly would make the most sense to be rewritten as a redeemable character, because he's only that way towards humans. The way he treats his own kind is the complete opposite. I couldn't necessarily say he's completely rotten to the core.
He's pretty damn rotten, though.
He is pretty rotten, but
which is why I you see it on screen, right?
Yeah, I can see all of that.
Which is why I basically decided that I think at best he should be a normal hero, which is basically someone who's on the side of. Okay, so a normal hero, what's the best way to describe it? Is basically a character who just happens to be on the side of good, but they may not be truly good or may not have truly heroic motivations. Like their motivations may be selfish or they may be only good for the sake of, a single person they care about, but otherwise, they don't have any like,
Right,
other quote unquote heroic motivations.
right. Um, so
And I put
in
down for his normal hero status is that Arlong still doesn't like humans, but he decides to honor Fisher Tiger's memory. And it's possible that I don't know how you feel about this because, like I said, I'm gonna give you the option to kind of write some of the story because I'm kind of having difficulty of how I'm gonna get there.
right.
But I had it to where it's kind of like a Shishamru situation, to where it's like he has like a half human, half fishman little girl to take care of or something like that. Like
Honestly, um, you mentioned Shishomaru. That would be the perfect way to rewrite his story so that he becomes, I guess, good. I mean, Shishomaru definitely changed for the better, but he was still, um,
yeah, a character like Arlong has to be an anti-hero. He can't become
yeah,
like a
just like
he
just
can't
like
become
Shishomaru.
Superman.
Shishomaru is very clearly an anti-hero. He does care for, I forget the girl's name, but he does care for her. I would say similarly to how a father cares about a daughter. Because I mean, I think it's
Which
very
is
clear
weird
that
which is weird that spoiler alert, which is weird they get together or whatever, but
that's very creepy. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're like almost 1,000 years old. But then again, I guess we can't really compare a being that still has the body of like a 30 year old or 27-year old.
it ain't even that, man, because vampires be doing that. It's the fact that he raised her basically, but I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
that's what
get to
makes
that.
it kind of creepy. Is that
I'm
he
not gonna
raised
get
it.
to that. We can maybe this ain't about that, but
Right.
yeah, that's what makes it
Um.
really weird. It's kind of grooming, but
So
whatever about that.
so so I think a great way to go about this would be if Arlong maybe found through some means. Um, Honestly, the best way to do it, I think, would be almost exactly the same way as what happened with Snomaru and Rin. That's her name, right? Rin.
Yeah, that's her
Um,
name.
um, because if you remember, with Rin, she saw Shishomaru injured and hungry, and she fed him and all that stuff. I think that would be the perfect way for that kind of scenario to happen for Arlong, where some kid just maybe it doesn't even necessarily have to be a kid, just could be a person in general uh, who sees Arlong injured and then takes care of him, and despite all of his,
I would, I
telling
would
them,
argue though that Arlong hates humans a lot more than Shishamru did, right?
well, so with Sesshomaru, I would agree because with Sesshomaru, even though it's not justified, his reasoning was partially because I think he hated his father for falling in love with a human being who he would have seen as very inferior to them. Um, and having a son with a human made Shishomaru also feel neglected by his father. I think that was a big reason as to why Sesshomaru became so hateful towards people because of that experience and because of being a superior being, right?
Right.
Arlong didn't have that. So you could make the argument that
So
with Sesshomaru,
that's why I don't really think it can. go the exact same way. I think it has to be a situation where she has to probably be at least part fishman, maybe. Like,
That could work. Yeah, that could
um,
easily work. Actually, that'd be perfect because
you know what could happen? It could be a
what?
situation where at first he thinks she's full fishman, or maybe like she's hiding like her fin or something.
Right.
Um, and then he has to kind of accept her human side as well. Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Um,
Okay, so let me rework this story. So what happens? Like, isn't he captured by the Marines? Like, what's going on with Arlong right now? Like, is it
okay, so I have a question for you. Where is this rewrite going to start off at? Is it going to start off when Kizaru attacks Arlong and all of that happens, or is it going to take place back when Fisher Tiger is still alive?
I mean, it don't really matter specific. I mean,
Because what
and,
sparks
and,
the change
and
in his character for your scenario? Like what
okay,
sparks?
so this was really hard for me. I was really struggling with this, but I kind of had the weird situation. I kind of had two situations. Okay, where both of them involve him like escaping from the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
He's knocked unconscious. He falls into the water, and he washed up on the shore to where like a mermaid little girl is feeding him, taking care of him.
Okay.
Um,
Ooh. Ooh. Nah. Maybe that would be a bit too ambitious. Never mind.
what you gonna say?
I had an idea come to me,
He falls
and
in love with a human or something.
I thought about that mermaid. What was her name? Kami. Um, and I was thinking, what if the scenario somehow led him to meeting with her, and then maybe he meets Rayleigh at some point, and that kind of helps him. But then I was like, maybe that's a bit too much.
I mean, not specifically. It
Yeah,
don't
it
have to
doesn't,
be too much. I mean, this is a hypothetical, anyways. It's probably not gonna happen, but
and it would probably be better and definitely feel more original if whatever Fishman, whether it be half or not, um, that he comes across is just a new character that you've come up with for the scenario instead of one we already know about.
right.
Um, I mean, you could even make it where maybe the character doesn't necessarily have to be a fishman or half fishman, but could be a full fishman that was raised by humans and like treated, and cared for in the same way that they would a human child. That could be a way to do it too. Um,
But the question would be how how does he get okay, so my end goal is to where he's kind of basically he ends up protecting humans. That doesn't exactly mean he has to like humans though.
right, and it doesn't even have to be him protecting all humans. It could just be him protecting a specific group of humans who he, becomes friendly with
You know, it'd
over
be kind of
time.
crazy.
What?
What if like is a situation as to where I'm trying to say what if it's kind of like a situation as to where shoot I'm tripping. Okay, what if it's kind of like a situation as to where it's like these half fishmen and half humans, they're like kind of rejected by both sides or something, and but they take an Arlong or something like that. I don't know.
I think I like your idea of a group of humans and one of them is half fishman, and the half fishman could be the son or daughter of one of those people who fell in
New
love
fish or
with a
tiger or
fishman or a
something.
mermaid. What?
A new fish or tiger or something.
Mm, well, Fisher Tiger, I don't think was a hybrid. I think he was full fishman. Um, but um,
Okay, so let's try to agree on one thing. Okay, so are we gonna have a half fishman or mermaid, whatever, involved in the story or not?
I would say yes to either one. Personally, I prefer the half human idea because
That's the same thing. Half fisherman, half human. That's the same thing.
right, because it would be perfect for the narrative that you're trying to write here, which is through this half fishman, half human um, kid. I'm assuming this character would be a kid that would kind of force Arlong to have a new perspective.
At the same time, I do think Fisher Tiger should be involved in some way for it to be realistic.
Okay, so you'd be changing it to where Fisher Tiger doesn't actually die. All right.
No, it could be like something where he's honoring his memory.
Yeah, that's true. Jinbei, I think, could also play into it because he used to have a lot of respect for Jinbei as well. Maybe not so much as he had for Fisher Tiger, but
and then too, you remember in his past, like we saw, wasn't Arlong trying to attack humans because they did things to Fisher Tiger? Like,
yes, I thought it was because of the celestial dragons having didn't they wasn't it that Fisher Tiger had been enslaved by humans, by celestial dragons, and that's what caused Arlong to be so hateful? Oh no, I'm sorry.
Like
I think it had something to do with what was her name? Otohime, the mother of Shirahoshi. I think there was something involved with that because the Fishman seemed to have a lot of hate towards people for her death, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean,
and then Kizaru whooped him. Okay, so
and I think him being taken down by Kizaru just further fueled that fire. You know, because he's like, here Fisher, Fisher Tiger said all this, but here I am getting, I mean, yeah, he did attack Marines, but like if you're Arlong, you're not going to see that as bad because you're a fisherman and you're not going to trust the Marines.
And of course, in this story, in a situation where he meets Nami, of course, we're going to have Nami never forgive him because she doesn't have to. No death. Like, screw that. Like, it's an interesting story to think about, but she doesn't have to forgive him. So we're not putting that.
Exactly.
Not gonna be something like that. Like, I'm sorry, Nami, for murdering your mom. And
like maybe for this version of the story.
Believe it or not, people. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this real quick. Believe it or not, you can reform a character without having to have everybody forgive them.
Exactly, like Shishomaru. Shishomaru's done a lot of awful things, but even he is a potentially good example.
I'm saying specifically people in the story forgive them. I think everybody in the story forgives he.
I mean, to me,
it has no problem with him.
Like in the story, I don't think Luffy is the type to hate somebody for something they've done in the past.
He would definitely hate Jinbei. He'll definitely hate Arlong.
He won't necessarily forgive Arlong, but I don't think he'd fly into a rage as soon as he saw him. Like, I think he would just say something like, "Get lost."
Oh, I mean, yeah, he probably wouldn't. Like, he was allied with Crocodile.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he'd probably say to Arlong, if you even think about hurting Nami, I'll knock your ass out even quicker. But yeah, and I mean, nobody should forgive Arlong for what he did because it's just inexcusable.
Right. It could be understandable, but it could still be like, and we could even have a situation where Arlong be like, I know I will never be forgiven, but I'm doing it regardless to honor Fisher Tiger.
Maybe something would even. I'm assuming in this scenario, Arlong could potentially show up in the future and maybe end up saving Nami and be like, yeah, I can never make up to you what I did, but Fisher Tiger was right, and I want to honor his memory. Like,
just imagine he comes back, he's just freaking powerful, like he's just a badass. But
honestly, all Arlong would really need is better mastery of Fishman karate.
Right. Like I'm just imagining this scenario. This scenario would look be fire. Like
Hello?
just huh?
Can you hear
Yo,
me?
who was that?
Can you hear me?
Yo, I can hear you. What happened?
I don't know. I was getting a call, and for some reason, the volume, your volume went really low. I don't know what the heck happened.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
I think I'm gonna have to leave and come back. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to put this in perspective. Perspective. Ooh. Okay, so we have a half human, half fish man, or either a half human, half mermaid character, right? And then also, what we're gonna do? Um, his story obviously involves fish or tiger. I wrote that earlier. Also involves fish or tiger. Um, and yeah, when Cat comes back, we're definitely going to narrow this down. Um, so this is I'm gonna keep it like this. So normal, I think he should maybe be normal. And slightly, and then he bumps up to scandalous. He bumps up to scrutinous. I mean, bumps up to scrutinous hero. And yeah, he's reformed but rejected. Quite understandably, the humans know what terrible thing he's done to humans over the years, so they don't want to accept his help. He does it anyway, pisses in his face and tries to attack him. Begrudging ally. Expect with a heart of gold. He's still a massive asshole, but in a similar situation, it's a trauma. He will. Yo, hey, everything okay? Hey, man, can you hear me? I can't hear you, bro.
Sorry about that.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I didn't. I kept getting a call and decided to answer it.
Okay.
But
So something we more or less agreed on, right, was his story involves a half human, half fishman, or half mermaid, whatever, and
mm,
also involves fish a tiger.
yeah,
Okay. So um, you know, uh, where was we?
I don't actually remember.
We was just having such a great conversation, and then I don't even
Well,
remember that.
yeah, the phone call is what completely threw me off. Um, I think the last thing I was talking about, or we were talking about, was if in this scenario Arlong came back somehow, and
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
you know,
Between allies,
yeah, like
begrudging allies or something like.
right, um, which I'm not going to get into that because that's completely off topic. Never mind.
What was it?
I was going to say I'm really surprised that he hasn't shown back up in the story. I mean,
I mean, how's that off topic? We talking about Arlong?
true. Um, to this day, I think he's easily one of the best villains in the series. Arguably, the most. Well, maybe not the best villain, but something that's so unique about Arlong is the fact that he is that way towards human beings, but towards his own kind, he's like
Yeah,
very protective and very caring towards his own people. So,
and
you
it's
know what I mean? Like,
interesting because like when I first watched One Piece, like first watching One Piece, I'm like, I hate him for what he does to Nami, and I still do in
mhm.
that way. Like I can't forgive him what he's done to Nami, but at the same time, looking back on it, like as I gotten older and rewatching the series, I just remember that moment to where like Luffy had used like his one of his like man or his
Yeah,
crew members to whatever to block his attack, and Arlong was just so hurt by it. Like he was just so upset. Like
yeah. He grabbed one of his men and I think threw him in front of himself as Arlong was about to bite him. With
Arlong's reaction was just like genuinely like no, like it was.
Yeah, he was infuriated.
It wasn't like muhahaha. That's what you get for
And
being useless, or
and
something
I
like that. It was.
and I think that's why I personally consider him to be not a better villain than Crocodile necessarily, but in comparison, Crocodile's so generic. Whereas with Arlong, he's
I would
he's
say
done all
though, Crocodile definitely is like a great villain to me because the fact that he just had a plan for everything. Like he literally only
true.
lost, but he literally only lost because of plot. It's okay to
He,
have just evil
yeah, I'm
characters.
not saying he's a bad character in it by any stretch, not even close. It's just Arlong is so much more refreshing because like he's clearly a villain, but he's also like you kind of understand where he's coming from. You don't agree with him, obviously, but you can kind of understand where he's coming from. Um,
That's true.
like there is a method to the madness, if you will, if that's even the right term to use. With Crocodile, he just
At least slightly. I mean, Arlong isn't like. This is why I said he should probably stay a normal hero because he isn't like he didn't do what he did for the sake of like making Fishman kind better to my
no,
memory. He just kind of
he
just
did not.
he just did it just because he loves hurting humans because he hated humans. So I
Yeah,
mean,
um, which is why he's obviously a villain because he's done evil things. But Crocodile's whole thing was he just wanted power, and
right.
with Arlong,
And then and Fishman Island really made Arlong really interesting.
Yeah,
You know,
it's why. Honestly, I mean, I think he's.
ironically, he was one of the best written characters in the arc that he wasn't in. Like,
I'd say within the entire series. Honestly, I mean,
wow, that's interesting.
yeah, I would definitely say that because you know, obviously not gonna go through a whole list of all the villains, of course, but the rest of them are kind of just what they are. They need to be taken down, and that's all there is to it. With
I
Arlong,
mean, it
with
depends.
Arlong, like Don Krieg is not somebody you're gonna really think too much about. You know what he is. He's a power hungry man who doesn't care who he has to sacrifice to make it to the top.
This is
Arlong,
this is true. Let's get back to the.
yeah,
Now that was off topic, but just saying you surprised he didn't show back up. That wasn't off topic, but I mean that was cool to add to the conversation, but we don't want to go in that too long. You know,
I think I think it's because I do like Arlong's character so much now. As I've gotten older, that really makes me want him. Really makes me want him to come back because I don't know.
right, I got you.
Nobody ever says they want Arlong back. They always say I want this guy back or that guy back. Like makes me feel like Arlong is a little bit underrated.
Oh, he is a bit. Yeah, I would agree with
Um,
that.
and he's arguably like he was the strongest threat when he first showed up.
Yeah.
Like, um,
And then that he had some cool abilities too, like with his teeth, and then he had that axe or whatever, that saw axe or whatever.
yeah, it was never explained, but I'm assuming that Arlong did have a lower level knowledge of Fishman karate. I would assume he had some degree of mastery of it
It's possible.
because remember that attack where he picks up the water and he throws it as like those bullets. I'm pretty sure
Right.
that's like a low level Fishman karate move.
Yo, what's up, Shogun? Hey, bro. Yeah, man. Arlong's underrated, man, and we're just right now we're just riding like we're basically riding like a possibility of like how we would write Arlong's redemption arc, like, or how would we reform him, in a sense. And I think a good idea. This is something I put on my lab on part one of this is that he won't hurt kids as long as like his morality pet is around.
Right.
And you know where a morality pet is basically like that character who makes like a brutal anti-hero or a villain more moral in a sense.
Right.
Like how like Ren with Shishomaru, like we said earlier. Uh
Yeah. Because exactly.
and I think yeah, that'd be a cool idea to have them be like iffy allies like him and Nami, like if he showed back up, like
Yeah. Um, I'm hoping he will. I don't think it will happen, unfortunately. Because Fishman Island would have been the arc for him to return.
right. That'd have been the perfect art to start riding a Shishomaru a
Yeah,
Shishomaru
I know,
Arlong.
right? I know, right? Like
I
that.
always kind of wish that, I mean, it seemed to kind of be buggy a bit, but
What
I always, but as that kind of recurring villain from the early series.
did you say buggy?
I said I always kind of I was gonna say I always kind of wish there was like a recurring villain from like early series who's kind of like Luffy's rival, like um
Yeah.
or something, or kind of like keep showing back up. But I guess that's Buggy.
No,
He's not
because
Luffy's rival, but he's that villain from early series that keeps showing back up.
he's not really a villain anymore, though. He's he's just comedy relief, and it's really sad to see that that's all there is to him.
No, he's
Like
hilarious. I love Buggy. So I mean,
he is funny, but it's like, is that all he is just to be a gag, like a walking gag? Like
he's still important.
barely. Um, I mean, I know this is off topic, but if any character had the most potential that was not tapped at all, it would be Buggy. He has the most potential.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because his fruit is like an opposite to Luffy's too. Oh yeah, by the way, Grant, you could join if you wanted to, bro. But you don't have to, of course. Uh, yeah, he's literally dressed as a clown. I mean, yeah, that's facts, man. Buggy is a clown, but I love him, man. He's funny and he low key is like actually interesting to the story. Like, he's related to the Pirate King, and there's some secret treasure or whatever with Shanks that we gotta find out about. And but anyways, this ain't
And
about Buggy.
and you and the last thing I want to say on that, and you know damn well that if there is a Shanks arc, Buggy's gonna be there. Absolutely.
What Buggy shows up in the Shanks movie using arm and hockey?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Buggy in so long. Who knows what he's capable of? Like,
Facts. So you think so what should we do? Should we have it be like he found his little girl by himself, or is it a situation as to where he's in a group like you said? Which one do you think?
well, it depends. I mean, given how Arlong is, I feel like he's most likely to, if he comes across the kid, um, like try to keep them as a pet
I feel
and
like he
like
would try to
treat
kill
them
the kid
horribly.
if that's why I think the kid has to first off either he has to be wounded like Shishomaru, or it has to be a situation as to where he sees the half
Oh my
fisherman side
god!
first.
Oh my
Why,
god! What
why you say, oh
what
my
if
god?
what if Arlong was force fed a devil fruit?
Wait, why would this happen?
I don't know, like to kind of get back at him, like maybe his name is known throughout a certain part of the world, and these people decide, okay, we're gonna punish you now. We're gonna take away your ability to swim and stuff this fruit down your throat. And like being unable to swim makes it so that Arlong like falls into like a deep despair, and like he ends up like kind of starving from it.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. Um, I thought you was gonna say something to where he kind of understands humans more because
No, that'll lead to it. Well, yeah, that's true. Because if that happened, he'd hate humans even more. Um, what is a way for him to under? You know what? Maybe if it was a group of people that he saw protecting fishermen, like
mm.
saving them.
What if like okay, so this is one scenario I wrote earlier, and we're gonna have to stop doing what ifs after a while. We're gonna have to decide on something because we'll be going on that forever. But one of the scenarios I had put was he escapes from the Marines and he's finna attack some humans, and then he's stopped by the new fishmen pirates. Um, and
Sure.
then he's told the truth for Fisher Tiger, yada yada yada, and there's a half fisherman, half human in the group now. Um, and she's a woman or something or a child, and her all along eventually gain a friendship, and he decides to honor Fisher Tiger's memory partly because of her. And maybe it could even be a situation where they just stay together like in the crew, or a situation where they get lost and then they go off on their own.
Hmm.
And also, you could see it on the screen too.
Right. Um,
You just had a brain fart.
no, no, I'm just reading what you said. Um, the thing. Well, no, I'm not going to get into that because that's just never mind. Um,
What's up?
no,
do.
That's not helping. Now
Say what you mean to say. Say what you need to say.
I'm having a hard time, and that's not helping. Sorry. What I was gonna say is, did you say that this half fishman was the child of Fisher Tiger?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. Because that doesn't need to be the case. I just for some reason thought you said that. All right.
I said, and I got it on the screen too because I was kind of reading off fast. She could either be a child or she could be a woman.
Personally, I think a child makes more sense because I feel like Arlong would be more. How do I put this? I don't want to use.
By the way, Arlong attacks children too. So before you,
Yeah, because I mean, as awful as he was towards Nami, I don't think he was particularly violent towards her. He might have hit her a few times, but
nah, bro, we're not gonna say no. We're not going that route, bro.
No, I know we're not. I'm not remembering. That's why I'm saying all of this.
Terrible, Nami.
I'm not debating that, but he also didn't kill her.
Because he needed her.
But he did kill her mother. So
he needed Nami. That's why he didn't kill her.
Like, is it possible that that even though he's awful to all humans, he's a little better when it comes to kids? Maybe.
Not really.
Okay.
I don't really think so.
Well, then I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it doesn't really matter if this character is a woman or a kid.
I guess it would. I mean, in this situation of it being a part of the Fisher Tiger crew, it'd probably make more sense for it to be a woman, maybe.
Yeah.
Of course, you could have a strong kid too, but
you could, but
this because two of these situations are two different scenarios. The first scenario is a situation where all along, you know what? I kind of like this situation better. Instead of the whole Shishomaru, I'm becoming better because I gotta protect someone type thing, is a situation where all along becomes, like this Fishman crew situation that we're talking about is a situation where he gains basically a sense of honor by fighting alongside the the half fishman, half mermaid chick or whatever.
Right.
Because in the child situation, it's a situation where it's because he got to protect this kid or whatever. I think it'd be a lot more interesting if it's this woman who's a part of the crew and they basically become friends, possibly, I don't know, lovers, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't have to be that.
I don't think shipping needs to be. We're gonna ship Arlong with somebody who's not even in the series.
I mean, people create OCs all the time. But,
I know.
But,
I mean, if you want to take this even further and make it into a full-blown fan fiction series, I'd be all for it. But
freaking Arlong rom-com.
Arlong and whatever. You'd have to give her a name.
Okay, so she's a woman. Okay, so that's what we're going with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually a lot more interesting.
And
the little girl thing is done all the time.
It is. You're right. I mean, we don't need to be doing the Arlong's adopted kid that's half fishman or half mermaid.
Child support.
Oh God. And honestly, something that I just pondered. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with Arlong was he obviously saw humans as
inferior and trash, and
basically saw them as playthings. not too dissimilar from how a human being might view an insect. Um, you know, but what the hell? What I was going to bring up is since this woman is half fishman or half mermaid, because of that, Arlong may not take the same stance towards her as he would a full human because of that um not inheritance because of that that blood that runs through her veins. Like he might be verbally antagonistic towards her and say, you're impure, you half human or whatever. But because she'd still be part of what he is, I don't think he'd treat her in the same way. It might actually create some kind of like psychological conflict for him.
Yeah,
Where
it would be a situation to where he'd be like, it's a situation where maybe he sees her strength and he sees how like she's protecting humans and stuff, and they fight together basically.
yeah,
And it kind of becomes a situation, kind of like, uh, and this is I'm not going the shipping route by the way, but kind of like Kazuka and Guts of how they kind of gained a respect for each other over time. You know,
I've not seen Berserk, so I'll take your word for
oh
it.
well, it's a situation. They kind of fight in the same battlefield, so they
Right.
become like they get like a stronger bond and stuff like that. It could be a whole situation with that.
Gotcha.
And yeah, of course, he has to learn the truth of Fisher Tiger, and um, and he kind of becomes more accepting of the truth and things like that, and decides to also honor her. I mean, decides to also honor him, because of the fact that he's a part of the New Fisherman Pirates. That works, right?
Yes.
So we write a great story.
Oh,
That's great.
here we go again. Of course.
Yeah. So okay. So we got it now. We got it now. Okay. So we got the story now. That's what's up. So yeah, the story involves a half fishman, half mermaid, also vice fisher tiger. Okay. So there is a woman. The cat had to take a call. There is a half mermaid, half human on the new Fishman Pirates crew. Over time, okay. Arlong has an internal conflict. Arlong has an internal conflict. International. Internal, infernal. And Arlong has an internal conflict. Oh, Cat's back.
Yeah, the dip no me is strong with me.
The I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say. But yeah, Arlo has an eternal conflict um of how he feels about the woman on the crew who he is strangely gaining respect for and seen as a comrade. Respect for and seeing as a comrade because of the fact she is half human. So does she die? I know I just said that this.
Mm, I mean, it all depends on how you want to take it. Like, she could either they could either get split up somehow, and like she ends up, I don't know, getting like maybe something happens to the ship they're on, and you could say that she gets pulled away by like some kind of a tide and sent elsewhere. You could have her die if you want to.
She gets flushed down a toilet.
No. And thank you for reminding me of one of the most cringeworthy lines from the Four Kids dub.
Sent her to a dungeon. You talking about Arlong sent Nami's mom to a dungeon?
No, I'm talking about when Crocodile used that one move that created a sinkhole, and Luffy called it like a desert toilet or something, or it's like I'm being flushed down a toilet. I don't know.
I think I know what you're talking about. And they was in the desert fighting.
Yeah, it was really freaking cringe. But I mean, it all depends. Like, if you want this character to die as part of this story, then
she doesn't have to. I was just saying because it sounded like a situation. Oh, dang! Wait, what? Wait, you can't hear me?
Who, me?
Grant said you can't hear me. Let me check the stream.
Could potentially be on his end as well, I guess. But
let me check. I'm gonna check the stream real quick.
Maybe it is the stream.
And check stream.
Heck if I know. Heck if I know.
Check. It sounds fine on my end. Check. Okay. I guess I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
No, it sounded fine on my end. Do you hear me, Kat?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly clear.
I'm just looking at the stream. It sounded fine on my end. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, our names are blue to represent, the sea and stuff. But yeah. Okay. So yeah.
You what?
I said our names are blue, like on StreamYards. Our names are blue to represent the sea.
Oh yeah, nice.
So basically, this is what I have so far for the story. The story involves a half human / half mermaid. Okay, so she's on a new fisher. She's on a new fisherman pirate crew. Arlong has an internal conflict about how he feels about the woman on the crew who he is strangely gaining respect for and seen as a comrade because of the fact that she's half human.
Oh. Something I also just thought of. Like, he would definitely respect the mermaid half, but
yeah, that's what I basically said. He's
like
having
not
a
the human part. So, like, that would probably play a role in what's happening as well. Like,
and you know what? What if it's something where instead of them telling him the truth about Fisher Tiger, in a way he starts to understand Fisher Tiger's way himself?
I guess that's possible.
I'm surprised he wasn't like, oh my god, that's like it's not a situation where they're sitting there talking to him like, listen, Arlong, Fisher Tiger did this and that because this reason. It's a situation where, through his experiences of doing these things, he understands. He's like, I see what Fisher Tiger was talking about now, something like that.
Yeah.
He starts to understand Fisher Tiger. Starts to understand Fisher Tiger.
I cannot hear the name Fisher Tiger without thinking of Fisher Price. Man, that's got to be rough, though, right? Like, Arlong is named Arlong, Jimbei is named Jimbei, Fisher Tiger's name is Fisher Tiger. He's got to be like, why the hell do I have a name like that? Why can't I have a normal name?
I don't know, man. Arlong and Jimbei probably means something.
Yeah, but it's like Fisher Tiger, like, really? It's kind of random.
I mean, yeah.
Like, what if Jimbei just sounds so, I don't know. Like, Fisher Tiger sounds like the name you'd give to a kid you like didn't want. Like, I'll just give my kid a random ass lame name.
Go get him, Tiger. Spider-Man movies. God love the movies. I hope the new Spider-Man is good.
Oh, I do too.
But yeah, I'm gonna go see that probably like 17. Um,
God
but
knows I love you.
yeah, I think we have a great story now. Um, I think we have a great setup. I'm glad that we went the route of it being like not a kid because that's like in every single story ever.
It
Uh,
really is. Yeah.
so yeah, man, I think we have a great story. Um, so we got a great setup story. So we have his origin. I'm gonna put three parts of it. We have his origin. We're gonna have his what he does, and then we're gonna have his Nami saga.
Yeah.
So we got the origin down. Now, what does he do? What is he doing? What is his
Uh,
goals? What is his different mindset now?
hmm. Well, he would still end up treating Nami and her village the same way, right?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Because you've changed his past to the extent where
I
he's
changed his
kind of,
past? No,
yeah,
I
didn't
didn't.
you?
No, I didn't.
You said before Fisher Tiger would have died and they would have disbanded that they they have this
No, I didn't say that.
oh so
I'm
it's
saying
so, the,
I'm writing his
so
origins for his reformation arc. I'm not writing his origins.
oh so it's like this would be post Arlong Park.
Right.
Okay, all right. I was confused for some reason. Um,
Oh, when I said origins, this is just his reformed character. This is just
right.
his him as a reformed character.
Okay. Well, what is he doing? Well,
I really wish you watched Berserk, man, because it's so much of Berserk, or at least I haven't seen all of
I've
Berserk yet either.
I've
But
tried to, and it's just too much.
because it's so much of Berserk to incorporate that
It's
that
it
I can think of to incorporate into this, like the whole Band of Hawks, and I don't know
like
if
I
Grand
know what
seen it,
happens.
but
I know what happens. It's just
I don't know if Grand seen Berserk or whoever else would watch this in the future seen it, but um, the whole Band of Hawks thing,
oh
and
yeah. Oh, I'm very well aware. And I know how Guts ends up, becoming part of their army and all that. Um, yeah, I know about that. Um, okay. What he does. All right. So I'm gonna need to refresh my memory here. So after he was defeated, if I'm not mistaken, he was supposedly imprisoned somewhere.
possibly they just left him there, like he
Yeah,
just was knocked out, and we don't really know.
it seemed implied that he would have been in Impel Down, but for the sake of this conversation, let's just say he escapes.
Okay.
Um, maybe that half mermaid is the one that actually shows up and assists him in his escape. Um, you know, and then we can say, I don't know. Where would they go from there? Uh,
Well, she's a part of the new Fishman Pirates,
right.
so he joins up with them.
Okay. Um, and Jinbei has nothing to do with that, I'm guessing.
You know what? what if it's a situation as to where Jinbei already left to go find Luffy or something?
Okay. So he was with them and then leaves to find Luffy. All right.
Because we know Jinbei left him.
Well, yeah. Which by the way is kind of odd, being one of the warlords without a crew. I mean, I obviously Mihawk did it and Kuma, but
But we already done with the origins though. Besides that, okay.
no, I know.
What I mean by what he does, I mean like what is his purpose? Like what is he doing? Like is he just being a crew member? Is he and shout out to all the people who like the stream and stuff. I appreciate everybody who likes and watches the videos and stuff. Greatly appreciate it.
I would think that he would either want to be one of the high-ranking members of the crew, or try to become the captain of it to kind of continue Fisher Tiger's work, if you will.
What if he becomes the vice captain?
Yeah, that's why I said either a high-ranking member or the captain. He doesn't have to be the captain. He would just need to be high enough to play a role in a decision making.
You know, it'd be kind of cool. What if she's the captain?
Or okay, that works. You could kind of turn Arlong into her Zoro, sort of like completely devoted to her as as a vice captain.
Yeah.
Not literally like Zoro. Like he's not going to pick up swords and stuff, but
you know he has swords, kind of. But
yeah.
But he's not gonna act like Zoro. I think he could. I think it still act the same way he does. He just has like a new sense of honor.
Well, when I said like Zoro, I just meant regarding how seriously he takes his position as the number 2 of the crew.
Okay, so he's number 2, and his goals are basically to protect humans.
And I would think it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense if he does it to honor Fisher Tiger and also to try to repent for what he's done.
Why would he care though?
Well, maybe not from the start, but maybe over time.
Okay, there we go. There we go. And okay, so basically the situation that maybe he sees that humans are just like fish, man. They both of them have their own struggles, and no one's perfect or something like that.
Yeah, and something else I just realized. Something that could also change his view of humans would be if he came across a human that could use like hockey, for example, and he sees, oh well, so there's actually people that are superior to us. Like,
I mean, he already knows Kizaru whooped him though.
Yeah, but that was a devil fruit user. Like, I'm talking about if like he came across somebody like Virgo, for example, and like saw what they were capable of and started thinking to himself, you know what I mean? Like it kind of stops him from looking down on people, humans, as weak, and makes him.
What's up, Jay Wolf? It's been a minute, bro. Hey. But yeah, continue, Cat.
Because even if he starts protecting humans, that doesn't mean he's not going to still look down on them and be on it and start seeing them as potentially being equals. He would need to see humans who are as strong or stronger than fishmen for that really to change his perspective on things. Like, because otherwise he'll just say, I need to protect people because they're so useless without us.
I mean, that could happen though.
What?
He could still be an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, and he could still be the bad guy in a sense,
He
where
doesn't
he's
have to
like,
become this super duper honorable person. I kind of doubt that he should still be an asshole because we got to really think. I get, we both agree that he had his reasons and he cared about his crewmates, but he's kind of like a Vegeta situation. He was such an evil villain to where he shouldn't probably be too good.
no. And I mean,
Even
even Vegeta's not good like that. Like
yeah,
Vegeta still has his moments.
like if he could have a situation, oh, you weak ass, you
Yeah,
weaklings, like I gotta
that's like,
save you weaklings or something. I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Byakuya in a sense.
Oh, you know what? Hey, Loki, like that could work. That kind of works, right?
He's like, you pathetic humans, always needing to be saved by us fishmen.
Yeah, that could work. Like, I think that's what we should go with. Like, he's an honorable bigot.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like how back in the day, slavers thought that they were and they had it in they put it in their own heads that they were doing what was right for the people they enslaved, even though it was obviously not the case. So Arlong could be like, well, I'm protecting them and they're weak, and I'm doing this for their own good, like just continuously, looking down on them and protecting them and babying them. And then that could kind of that could make the people that he saved look at him and say, "Oh, so you know what's right for us? You know what's best for us just because you're superior to us?"
Then Arlong just like, I don't know, he just has some meathead response or something, some high headed response.
Yeah, he'd be like, "You humans wouldn't last a day without me."
I mean, I think I kind of like that better than like he's like, wow, these humans are actually great. Like
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense for him to start loving people. Like
yeah,
maybe he would only change in that he would start to respect strong human beings.
right. There we go, Kat. We're saying some genius stuff. There we go. It's like he respects some humans. He's like, Luffy, I gotta admit, you're pretty strong. Like something
Yeah,
like that. But
maybe even Zoro.
it could be something where he's like, Luffy, I gotta admit, you're pretty strong for a measly human or something.
Yeah, right. Like he maybe he even starts to see humans that are that strong as not really being, from the same barrel of monkeys.
Yeah, like it's kind of like kind of like a Bakugo situation, just because. But okay, he will protect humans even though he still sees them as weak and needing his protection. Um, because they can't help themselves. But maybe it could kind of like a situation like he doesn't specifically hate humans anymore though.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't hate them. He just he looks at them as similarly to how some people might look at animals and say, you know, oh, you pathetic little thing, you can't save your own hide without my help. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I gotta check something. Oh man, what just happened?
I don't know what just happened.
Is it my internet? Because it looks like the stream isn't. Oh dang it! It looks like the stream isn't loading correctly. Yo, what happened?
Uh-oh. I have no
Oh, you
idea.
don't hear me? Okay, I'm gonna try to refresh my internet real fast. Oh, dang it. It might just be my phone. I'm gonna see if it comes up on my laptop. But what were you saying? Oh, never mind, never mind. Yeah, the stream's messing up. Ah, dang it. Let me see. Oh man. Think we should start a new stream?
I mean, if you want to.
Okay. I'm finna type in the chat. I'm finna start a new
The discussion was just too much for YouTube to handle.
Yeah, it's like okay, this is getting kind of racist.
No. It's getting too much for it to handle. It's too intense. It actually is starting to break the site. It's like an overwhelming amount of power is here.
Well, I'm gonna check something. Oh, I just heard the noise for a second, and it just started loading again. I'm gonna make sure my settings are.
No. It's getting too much for it to handle.
My settings are fine. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a part 3 to this. I'm gonna start up a new stream. So I'll see you in like 5 minutes at most, guys. Talking to the people in the chat. If y'all can still hear me, I'll see you in about 5 minutes.